Hi guys and welcome back to the channel. I have some amazing news to share with you regarding the Dove 2 Smart Telescope. Fits and autofocus under Astro mode are finally here. The new firmware upgrade version 1323 brings great improvements to the Dove 2 telescope. If you haven't seen my other videos with this affordable smart telescope, you can check the Dove 2 playlist, and I placed also a link with the telescope in the description of the video. Next time you connect to the Dove 2 Smart Telescope, if you haven't upgraded it yet, you will get a notification. Find new version, and below we can see what's new. 1. Add autofocus function under Astro mode, a very useful feature to have for astrophotography. 2. Add FITS format under Astro mode. For me, the FITS format was the upgrade that I was waiting for the most, since it's currently the standard RAW file format for astrophotography. Using FITS will ease the processing workflow in different astrophotography programs and is a very important upgrade. 3. Add ordinary photography binning in 2x2 mode. Now we can take also images in the photography mode with lower resolution, Full HD instead of 4K, but having larger pixels that can collect much more light for the same exposure time that can be very useful in low light conditions. To enable this option, you need to go in the phone app, go camera settings and enable binning. After activating binning 2x2 in the phone app, I've noticed that it will not work directly unless you'll reboot the Dove 2 telescope from the app. So you'll need to restart the telescope to be able to swap from binning 1x1 to binning 2x2, and this can be a little bit annoying. I think this is an error that I will report to Dwarf Lab, and they should be able to fix it in the next update. So if you want to change from standard binning to binning 2x2 in normal photo mode, you'll have also to restart the Dwarf 2. Here I observed that binning 2x2 will work also on video mode, so we can take videos of Full HD resolution instead of 4K, and this can be very useful when filming at night and in low light situations. I observed also new features in the updated app, CPU performance mode and camera storage. Having information about the SD card is very important, and I will give you an example why. Before having this feature, I forgot to check on the PC how much free space I still have on the Dwarf 2 telescope. I went out to make some 4K video captures, and when the battery was almost depleted, I noticed that the half of the videos were not saved. And the reason was full SD card. So I'm very pleased that Dwarf Lab made available this information with the new update. Next we have number 4. Add night flying object tracking function. I'm really curious to test this feature. We might be able to track airplanes, satellites, and the International Space Station when it moves through the night sky. This is a very cool feature to have. I will share more information about this tracking in another video after I will be able to test it. And number 5, fix the autofocus bug under photo mode. And I'll show you soon the first results that I obtained with the new autofocus. First, I want to show you how to install the new firmware upgrade. To be able to complete the upgrade, you need first to exit the Dwarf Lab application and go at Google Play Store to update the Dwarf Lab app. Once you clicked on Update and you have the new updated app, then you can open it again and connect with the Dwarf 2 telescope. Once connected, the notification upgrade to new version will appear again, and this time you will select Upgrade. Next, you will follow the instructions from the update menu. 1. Click Disconnect Dwarf 2 Wi-Fi connection. Disconnect the Wi-Fi on your phone. 2. Click Check Version to check if there is a new firmware available for upgrade. Next, you download the new version. 3. Click Connect Dwarf 2 to reconnect with Dwarf 2 Wi-Fi. 4. Click Upgrade to complete the OTA upgrade. After the upgrade is complete, Dwarf 2 will restart and you will need to use the app to reconnect to Dwarf 2. Check the firmware version number to verify that the upgrade has been completed. Once I finished the upgrade and I wanted to reconnect with the Dwarf 2 telescope, I had an error, and did not want to connect. I also rebooted the telescope using the app, but I still got the same error. Seems the solution was to turn off the Dwarf 2 by pressing long this button here and turn it on again. I opened the app on my phone and this time it worked. I was able to connect to the telescope. If you will also encounter an error like I did, you can do the same and turn off and on the Dwarf 2 telescope, then reconnect using the phone app. I made the upgrade during daytime and I was very curious about the new autofocus feature, so I decided to test it also in daytime. However, the astronomy autofocus, it did not work. It needs nighttime to be able to use it. Having clouds, I was not sure I will be able to test it on stars, but once it got dark, I had a short window of clear sky with visible stars. From my experience with the Dwarf 2 Smart Telescope, there are a few options when to focus the telescope. First, having the Dwarf 2 already focused on a distant object before calibrating, like distant lights and buildings of a town or the moon, or focusing on the town in daytime. From here you can start directly the calibration and then to fine-tune the focus by using the focus function under the Astro mode. As I mentioned before, I do prefer to calibrate first and fine-tune the focus after. It seems faster and easier. The second option is to point the Dwarf 2 directly at a bright star that you can see with the naked eyes and then start autofocus and do the calibration after. I had already a decent focus when I started, but I skipped the calibration because of the clouds that were covering the sky very fast. So my time was very short when I tested the Dwarf 2. I went fast out with the Dwarf 2 telescope and mounted on a video tripod. Because clouds were closing in, I did not have time to calibrate or use the Go-To, so I just used the wide field lens of Dwarf 2. We turn the optical tube, we turn it, so we are pointing the Dwarf 2 telescope towards the star. Switch to a wide angle view and adjust the wide angle camera parameters to the highest exposure, 1 second, and the highest gain, 164. And the virtual joystick combined with the video tripod to find a few stars and make the first focus test. I decided to test first the new autofocus on some random stars, not too dim and not too bright, to check if the autofocus will fail or not. As we observed in the first autofocus test, if we did not point the Dwarf 2 on a very bright star, the autofocus failed. Now let's see the second test when I pointed the telescope at Sirius, that is the brightest star in the night sky. Here on the first try, when clouds covered the star, the autofocus did fail. So we still need clear sky to be sure we can use the autofocus. I waited a few moments until I was able to see clear the star with my naked eyes and test it again. Now it seems the autofocus worked good. Finally, we have an improvement from the last firmware upgrade. However, I do believe Dwarf Lab needs to work more on the autofocus feature, so it will work also on dimmer stars. So we can use the autofocus feature with good results directly on the deep sky object that we want to image. Also, if you get perfect focus on the brightest star in the sky, this might not give you perfect focus on dimmer stars. Looking back on the autofocus performance since I got the Dwarf 2 telescope, this changed depending on the follow-up updates. When I tested first time the Dwarf 2 Smart Telescope, I was able to focus also on dimmer stars like on star clusters, and testing the autofocus feature directly on Orion Nebula, it worked good. The problem was that it did not perform good all the time. Sometimes the focus was good, sometimes failed. After the new firmware updates, the autofocus was worse than at the beginning, failing all the time when focusing on stars. After the new firmware upgrade that releases also fits format files, the new autofocus, it seems to work good on the brightest stars, but not on the dimmer ones. That I believe is a must-have if you want to use the autofocus in your workflow without losing time. Also, if you decide to focus on a bright star, could be faster to calibrate first the Dwarf 2 telescope and just select the star from the go-to list. In conclusion, the new updates are a step forward in having a good autofocus for astrophotography, but I think there's still work to be done. These are my recommendations for DwarfLab on improving the autofocus feature. Having said that, I want also to mention that using manual focus is easy with the Dwarf 2, and after experimenting a little, you'll be able to make the focus on stars very fast, as the autofocus, or even faster. We can obtain good focus by using the minus and plus buttons from the focus feature until the stars appear smallest in our live view, as I have done in the other videos where I tested the Dwarf 2 telescope. If you have any questions about manual focus, feel free to write them in the comments of the video. After testing the autofocus on Sirius, clouds covered the sky and I could not make any more tests on the stars. So I decided to test the new astronomical autofocus also on the city lights, to see if we can focus at night using the new feature. And as I suspected, the autofocus worked really well. Here are some video recordings where we can see how I use the Dwarf 2 Smart Telescope to test the autofocus on different parts of the town. If you have a clear line of sight, with city lights visible, the autofocus will perform good. I encountered problems only when I had trees and other objects that obstructed the city lights, so a clear line of sight was needed. And the new autofocus feature seems to be also a good option to use for night photography. I also have a tip here. You can use the Astro Mode live stacking feature to stack multiple exposures and increase the signal to noise ratio of the images, as I have done last night after I tested autofocus on the city lights. I think live stacking works currently only for night images, so it probably won't work in daytime. Last time I checked, it didn't. Now let's continue to the new FITS astrophotography format that replaces the TIFF files of the Dwarf 2 telescope. FITS is the most commonly used digital file format in astronomy. The FITS standard was designed especially for astronomical data and can include information such as sensor data, device information. The FITS format is an uncompressed and unprocessed raw file that is saved as a monochrome image, even if it's captured with a color sensor. Using the Bayer pattern of the sensor, we can also convert the FITS files into color images using different programs, or preview them directly in color like in ASCII FITS Viewer. To see the metadata of the new FITS, you need to install a software like ASCII Studio that has also the feature FITS Viewer. Once you have it installed, just double-click on a FITS file and you'll be able to see it with ASCII FITS View. Next, you can right-click on the image and after click on FITS header. And there you can find all the metadata of the file, including capturing data, the Bayer pattern of Dwarf 2 sensor, that is GBRG, and timestamps. Compared with the monochrome TIFF files that we had with the Dwarf 2, even if TIFF is retaining full image quality, we did not have the metadata information from the TIFF's file format, and this affected the astrophotography post-processing workflow of the images taken with the Dwarf 2. If we wanted to stack directly the TIFF files in Deep Sky Stacker software, the resulting stack image was a monochrome one. DSS could not debayer the TIFF files. In order to obtain a color image, was needed to convert first the files into FITS using other software. Also, we needed to know the Bayer pattern of the Dwarf 2 to be able to set it in the DSS FITS raw settings, and the TIFF files did not contain the data. The only options were to test by trial and error or get this information online or from DwarfLab. With the new FITS file format, we can use now the astro images taken with Dwarf 2 to stack directly in programs like Deep Sky Stacker and obtain a color image file. The TIFF files not containing metadata did make also comet stacking difficult, because many astrophotography programs are using the timestamps from FITS files for comet stacking. Having timestamps, we could select the position of the comet in the first and last image, but without this information, I needed to select the comet position in all the comet images that I imported in Deep Sky Stacker. Having FITS file instead of TIFF for astrophotography was one of the most important improvements on my list after receiving the Dwarf 2 Smart Telescope. These were the major improvements that DwarfLab released in this new upgrade. I'm glad that after the new firmware upgrades, we now have a better Dwarf 2 telescope in such short time after beta testing. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below, and if you are new to the channel, consider subscribing and don't forget to hit the like button if you enjoyed the video. I also made a playlist of video reviews and tutorials about the Dwarf 2 Smart telescope, and I also placed an affiliate link of the product in the description. I'll see you soon in the next video, and clear sky.